we're going.
Okay. Our district play begins with Collinsville Cardinals. We begin with district play at home versus Claremore. Um, the next week we'll be on the road playing Grove. We'll be back home again for homecoming versus Tulsa Central. Then we go on the road to I'm peeking at my schedule there. Coweta. I always get those two backwards. Go on the road to Coweta, and then we're on the road again to East Central. And then we finish up our final two games at home versus Pryor, and then our last game at home versus Tahlequah. The district, as far as if I was going to rank our district, I would probably definitely starting at the top. I would definitely have to say East Central will probably be the favorites. Got a lot of phenomenal athletes coming back. Two or three kids that already have signed Division I scholarship offers, one to OU. I would definitely probably put Coweta at second. They've got a very strong senior class coming back. Playoff team last year. Very, very good football team. I would say after East Central and Coweta, I think the third and fourth spots, I think those are definitely probably the two favorites. The third and fourth spots are very up for grabs. I think the teams that will probably compete for those would be ourselves, Tulsa Central, Claremore, and you can't count out Pryor. Pryor was beat us in the first round last year. Lost a lot of good kids off of last year's team, but it's going to be a dogfight in our district. Our district is very well. I don't know if balanced is the right way to put it. It's there aren't any weeks off in our district. There's just not any teams you can just absolutely chalk up as a win. It's a very competitive district, but on the good side, I think there's a lot of very winnable games for Collinsville in our district. So we're real excited about it, and we can't wait to get started.
Now, you've only had the kids a couple of weeks, or actually just a very few days, as a matter of fact.
We've had them since Tuesday. So we've had 4 practices.
Yeah.
One with yesterday was in pads, and our first 3 practices were just in shorts and helmet.
Okay. Can you notice anything about them? What their attitude is and that sort of thing?
Attitude's been great. The heat hasn't been a factor really to our kids. They've had great attitudes, been going strong. I think the thing that we've noticed the most so far in these first 4 practices is we're so far ahead of where we were last year offensively. Our kids are kind of picking up right where we left off last year. Last year was our first year in this new spread offense of ours, and the kids are just really picking it up fast and picking it up well. So that's a huge plus. We're weeks ahead of where we were at this point last year.
So you start off with our cross and Highway 20 rival Skytook, and
Yes.
Talk about Skytook for a minute.
Skytook, big time rival, our Highway 20 rival, and which we one of the best games I've ever been a part of last year. We edged them out last year to get the first year with the trophy. It's going to be a big time rivalry. They lost a lot of great players off last year's team. They're going to be a really young team, but I think being Skytook and Collinsville, we better be ready to play because it's going to be a dogfight with those guys.
And who do you follow with the next 2 games?
The next 2 games, we're on the road with Skytook week 1. Week 2, we're on the road again to Catoosa. Catoosa is going to be a very tough team again. They too graduated a lot of great seniors off of last year's semifinal team. Going to be really tough. I don't see them being as tough as they've been the last 2 years. They've really graduated some really good players, but they're definitely a 4A playoff team and a tough opponent.
And then you get Oologah.
And then we get Oologah. We get our other rival, our north rival, Oologah. That'll be our first home game here at Collinsville. And like Skytook, they lost their quarterback last year, so they lost some good players as well to graduation. But they've got some good ones coming back. Got some big guys up front on their offensive line, and we'll have our hands full in that game too. Just like Skytook, it's a rivalry, so anything can happen.
And how important, Coach, are the fans and who shows up at the games and who follows you over to the away games and that sort of thing?
It's tremendous. I mean, the fan support and the crowd is it, it's hard to explain just how important it is to the kids and to their just their whole mojo, you know, if you will. You know, an example, you know, and not that we didn't have, we had some fans there, but last year we played Tulsa Hale at East Side Complex at East Central's field last year, and Tulsa Hale probably didn't have, you know, 100, maybe 200 fans at the game, and we probably had 300 or 400, and it was just a real flat atmosphere, you know, and we were a real young team last year, and we played really flat that night, and you know, you don't ever want to, you know, blame your play on anything, but I think it definitely was at least a small factor. So, you know, fan support and just that Friday night crowd is really, really huge, and I think our kids really feed off of it.